My name's Lisa and this is Elsie. She's 9 weeks old. I had Elsie here at the unit in Arbroath and I was quite familiar with the unit already and the midwives here because I had my elder daughter Ailey here about 3.5 years ago. To be honest, the biggest factor probably was convenience for me. I live in Arbroath. I actually just live 2 minutes up the road from the hospital, so it did just make sense to give birth in Arbroath. And it's just quite a nice, relaxed atmosphere here at Arbroath as well. It was easy for my husband to come and visit if he needed to visit, so that's really why I chose Arbroath over any other unit.
Hi there, we're the Kyra family. I'm Emma, this is Marco, and our children Valentino and Azura. And we had our children here in Arbroath at the unit. Well, I think we were just really drawn to the fact that it was such a natural kind of experience here and really relaxed. And when we came here the first time, when I was having Valentino, it was just such a lovely kind of atmosphere, and everyone was so friendly, and it just felt very relaxed and not really clinical or anything like that. It was just exactly what I wanted and envisaged for giving birth in a nice, relaxed atmosphere like that. And that's the way it's been every single time we've come here for all our appointments. Just all the staff here couldn't do enough to be helpful and put you at your ease. And
you were really set on a water birth as well.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I really was keen on the water birth idea.
Keeping it really natural with no painkillers, just like the gas in here.
Yeah, definitely. Just the sort of unmedicated birth was what I wanted. So yeah, it was just perfect.
One of the other things that contributed in my decision to have my babies here in Arbroath were my midwives throughout my pregnancy were based here at Arbroath, so there was a chance of having a midwife in labour that I'd already met and was maybe already comfortable with as well.
Yeah, I think that's a whole part of the reason why we've just loved the experience here and why we will keep coming back for future children here. I think it's just that one-to-one kind of experience where the midwives all know you, they know you by name, they recognise you, they remember that I had Valentino here, and now Azura obviously, and it's just, I don't know, what would you say, Marco?
Also when you express, any kind of like, is that normal, or they kind of comfort you that way as well. They say, well, it's completely normal, and don't worry about that.
They're so reassuring, and they can never do enough for you. Like, they're always saying, just pick up the phone, even when the baby's born. Like, they couldn't do enough to help, and just, you never feel shy to phone up or ask a question, or that any question's silly here. And it's just nice to see them when they come to visit in the house.
They have a lot of time for you. They do.
A lot of time,
They do. It's not as busy a ward as say Ninewells, which is a bigger hospital, and you feel like they have a lot more time for you.
It's a real personalised experience here from day one when you come, right up until they're discharging you, when they're seeing you in the house visiting the baby, and we just love it. They always say to us every time now, they're like, we'll see you for the next one in a couple of years. And it's true, like it's kind of addictive, like you just want to come back, and we just love it. We love having babies, and what's also great as well is that obviously we live in Montefiore, so just being, when you're in labour, just being so close to home and feeling like it's only going to be just less than 10 minutes down the road and you're going to be here. Just amazing. They're so supportive on the phone, everything. Nothing is too much for them here, really. Yeah.
The reason I chose Arbroath was because I felt if I'd went to Ninewells, there might have been more chance of having some interventions in the birth, which I didn't want. Whereas I knew that if I was in Arbroath, there would be less chance of that. But if it was needed, I could just go by ambulance up to Ninewells. The option of home birth was also presented to me. It wasn't for me. I quite liked the thought of coming into a hospital and keeping home and hospital, and my choice was respected and it wasn't pushed any further once I made that decision. Choice is important because it made me feel like I mattered, and it made me feel like the midwives respected me, and it made me feel really comfortable with them, and it made me trust them as well. So then if they did recommend something, I would be more likely to take that on board rather than if it was forced upon me.
Obviously, as new parents, whether it's the first time or second time or whatever, you want to know as much as you can, particularly the first time when you don't know what you're doing and you're going into this whole new life. So our both were just amazing at giving us all the information we needed and we wanted. Nothing was too much. We felt we could ask questions at all stages through the pregnancy and afterwards. And even now they've got an app that they use to communicate with you as well, which is amazing, and you can always view the information on the app in your own time at home and share that with your partner, and it just makes you feel really informed about your baby and your body and what's happening in the whole process.
I think they're also very forthcoming with information.
Yeah.
There's no, they always want to answer questions. They don't, you don't feel like you're annoying anyone by asking questions.
Even for the dads as well.
Even for the dads, and even the classes really help. They really do.
The classes we did here.
Changing nappies.
The couples one, changing nappies, learning how to look after the baby, and I think that's just nice for the dads, isn't it?
Looking after the mum as well, for dads to support their wives.
Yeah, absolutely. And just making you feel like you know what you're doing as well. We just felt really informed every step of the way, to be honest, and never felt like we were on our own. Always felt like there was somebody to call at any time of day whenever you were worried about something. Or
I think that's the biggest fear when you're brand new parents and you've never had a baby before. The second time around is a lot easier. But you still have your questions because you forget some of the stuff, and
you do.
You're reminded, and
definitely.
It's never a problem for them.
No.
I've been lucky to have the same midwife throughout both pregnancies, and she just made me aware of the facilities here, but also made me aware of the facilities at other hospitals like Ninewells. But I just decided that I wanted quite a relaxed, intimate birth, so I chose Arbroath. So together we made my birth plan, and she listened to my wants and my needs. But she also advised me on what she thought would be best for my health and baby's health as well. One of the things I was really keen to do was have a natural, natural birth with no drugs really. But with Elsie, she recommended that I have the injection to help the afterbirth, because with my first it took quite a while and they almost had to intervene with that. So I took that on board and I listened, and it's not what I initially wanted, but it turned out for the best.
So I think the great thing about Arbroath as well is the midwives really just they're very relaxed about your birth plan and how you're going to choose to give birth, and just leave it very open. And just very informative, obviously. So I really wanted to have a water birth both times. I was really keen on that idea. And they were very supportive about that, explaining what all the options were. And obviously the first time when I had Valentino, it was a great experience having the water birth. It was, Marco was able to be right up there close with me as well.
We even had some Latin beats on in the background.
You were in charge of that?
Actually, the nurses were great. They actually had a little Bluetooth speaker that had been given by another mum to say thank you. And we were able to hook up our beats as well.
Yeah.
So we had all Latin beats and the salsa and things like that.
And you know, it's just such a good way of taking away the pain, obviously, and keeping things very relaxed. And this time it was even better because the actual room, the birthing room's been all done up, and it had like sort of like, what was the ceiling like?
It
was
like one of those lights that projects onto the ceiling.
Yeah, so it's like stars
cool,
and lights, and it was just that calming atmosphere, sort of like candles and things like that, and a brand new pool. And it's amazing how the water just takes the pain away.
And the heat in that room as well.
Yeah, and it just makes it really a lovely experience. Like this time, when we arrived at the unit, I had her like an hour and a half later, and when I got here, I was straight in the pool, and then an hour and a half later she was here, and it was just the most amazing experience, wasn't it? We had Michelle was there for us, our midwife, when I was giving birth, and she was just amazing. And
it was on the same day as the football final.
It was.
And they were able to accommodate, you know, getting a certain time for it as well. So, so I was very appreciative of that as well. I was very appreciative of that.
But yeah, the new room's amazing, and just again, it was just such a brilliant experience. And my midwife that when I had Valentino was there to help me give birth, Christine, she actually came and made an appearance, didn't she?
She did.
When she was just about to be born. So it's that kind of family kind of atmosphere here that you don't get elsewhere. Like all the midwives know you, you know all of them, and it's just that nice family, familiar atmosphere makes you feel at your ease, really.
I definitely felt supported with both of my pregnancies and births. They were quite different, with my first baby being born, you know, pre-pandemic, pre-COVID, and then with being pregnant with Elsie throughout COVID, it was quite different. So first time round, I was able to come into the unit and have in-person antenatal groups, and probably more appointments with the midwife as well, although you always do get more with your first baby anyway. Second time round, it was a lot more on the app, email, phone calls, but they also did a virtual antenatal group, which was quite nice, so you got to meet a few other mums on Zoom kind of type thing. So yeah, definitely still the information was there, just accessed in a different way.